Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Coach D. I always have to clean my phone when I do this. This is Coach D. I'm coming to you today from the parking lot. I have a speaking engagement shortly. Gotta fix my hair. But today we're going to speak about really quickly how to carve out your perfect target market. Okay? Carving out your perfect target market. Thank you so much for the hearts. I need those. So in doing business marketing, branding, one of the most important things that you could ever do is be very specific about who your market is, okay? Be very, very specific about who your market is, okay? When you are very specific about who your market is, you are more apt to want to work with and for these people. But in order to do that, in order to define the perfect people for you to work for, market to, and then place yourself amongst, you have to take the time to figure out who those people are. Okay? And so what I'm going to encourage you to do is to begin to very specifically define your target market. Okay? So for those of you who are familiar with me and my processes, this is the time to get out your journals. This is the time to get out your, I don't care if it's a napkin. Get out a napkin, take some notes, but don't throw the napkin away, obviously. Okay, so what we're going to do here is I'm going to ask you a few questions, and I want you to write these things down so that you can define who your target market is, okay? I want to know very specifically, what do they look like? Okay, so write that down. What does my market look like? And I don't mean in terms of numbers of people, demographics of people specifically. I mean that if your market was one person, what does that one person look like? Okay, so write that down. What does that one person look like? And I apologize, I didn't put my phone on silent. It's going to be dinging and stuff. Okay, what does that person look like? One person. What do they look like? What is their age? What do they wear? What do they, how do they carry themselves? What types of activities do they do? But this is just the appearance of the person. Because once you know the appearance of the person, then we can go to define other aspects of that individual. Okay? So what do they look like? Okay? Next on, we want to go to, what does this person do? Okay? What does this person do? And depending on what the person looks like, it can help you determine what the person does. For example, if these are children, they look like, what do they look like? Are they male children? Are they female children? What do they wear, determines what they do sometimes, or vice versa. So for example, if the child is in athletic gear, then maybe this child participates in sports. Maybe this child is involved in community centers. Maybe this child does extracurricular activities outside of the home, outside of school, things like that. So what does this person do? If it's a woman, does she like shopping? Does she like grocery shopping? Okay. Does she sit up at the makeup counter occasionally? What does she do? And then in terms of what they do, are they students? Are they in college? Okay. Do they work? Are they stay-at-home wives? Are they married? Okay. Do they go to church? Do they participate in anything outside of the home and outside of school and outside of work? Okay. What do these people do? Okay. Then what do they like? What do they like? And this is key, because in order to be effective as a business person, you have to effectively market to people. In order to effectively market to them, you have to know what your people like. What do they like? What do they like? What types of things are they engaged in? What types of things are going to be exciting for them? If it's a child, maybe they like to play. Maybe they like events. Maybe they like music. What does your market like? Okay? What does your market like? All right? Outside of that, putting all of those things together gives you a more firm and more clear picture and idea of who these people are. Okay? Sometimes we go into questions like, what do they like to listen to? Because no matter what aspect of business you're in, music plays a huge role in how we market and promote and present ourselves. So imagine if you were makeup artist. if you know what your person looks like, what they wear, what they do, you might also be able to gauge what type of music they listen to, so that when you're doing their makeup, maybe you can add the bonus of music. And some marketers and some business people don't go this far, but when you do, they will be more inclined to come to you to get their makeup done than they would be inclined to go to someone else. Okay? And in answering these questions, it does not hurt to actually ask. It does not hurt to ask your audience what these things are that they like, what these things are that they pay attention to, what the things are that they, even music, what do they like to eat or drink? Just think about things like that, so that in you defining your perfect market, you will have a very clear picture of who these individuals are. Okay, so don't take it lightly that you just think you have it all figured out. Don't be afraid to engage your audience in asking these questions. And so this Periscope opportunity was intended to piggyback on what we talked about the other day, about how your business image should really match your personal identity. So when you're defining who your market is, your market really should be a representation of who you yourself are. Okay, it should be a representation of who you already are, so that you can already fit well within that market. And that's not to say that you have to be a representation of these people or dress like them or look like them, but you have to fit in. You have to fit your market. So that means either you need to ramp up, or sometimes in some cases we need to tone it down. Sometimes we will present ourselves in such a way where we're actually over the head of our market. Okay, and that's not the idea. You have to fit the audience at the time. And that's not to say that if my market is women and business women, entrepreneurs, leaders, coaches, things like that, obviously when I'm in front of them, I dress and present myself a certain way. Yet when I go and speak at schools with elementary students, I dress and present myself a certain way then too. So obviously you want to be able to be changed per situation, yet you still maintain a standard across the board. And that's not to say that even when you go to speak to students that you completely, match the market, because in some cases you have to raise the standard or the expectation of your market to meet you. Okay, so those are a few tips about how you yourself can define and figure out who your market is. And for the next few days, we're going to be discussing market. And after this, we're going to be discussing the actual business part of branding. Okay, so if you have any more questions, this is Coach D Nicole. I need to go inside so I can set up for my speaking engagement. And I'm looking forward to hearing from you. So if any of you have any special requests of what you can use from me, please don't hesitate to let me know. And I will be more than happy to help out. Thank you. I wish you all the best. Have a wonderfully blessed day. You're welcome.